Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Moodle Support Theater. It's a proven fact that attendance is a key factor in student success, so let's take a look at some of the options available in this feature in Moodle. First, I recommend a fresh install every term. If the old version somehow gets transferred over, let's make sure we delete it and start new. With that out of the way, let's make sure our editing is on, looks good, and choose Add an Activity or Resource. From the list, we're going to choose attendance. When that opens up, we're going to go to the grade area, and we're going to enter the total number of points a person can get by attending every day. For this class, it's 5 points a day, 1 day a week for 10 weeks, so it's worth 50 points. Now, a quick tip, if your class meets several days a week, factor that into the total point total and make sure you break that out to points per day. You're going to need that information in a few minutes. By the way, since you're here, hopefully you set up your categories for your grade book, because here's where you can put attendance in the proper category. Let's scroll to the bottom, save your changes, and that takes us back to the front page. Okay, select the attendance icon here on the main page. Inside at the top right, if it hasn't happened already, I prefer to set the view to show all. It's much less confusing. Come to the left and choose the Add Session tab. At the top, indicate the day that the quarter begins. I prefer the calendar feature for this. The dates here are for demonstration purposes only. Include the time the class meets, and this would be from 1 until 2:15, and you're using the drop-down arrows, and notice that it is military time. Now come down below this box and check Repeat the Session as follows. Select the days that your class meets and repeat the process of choosing the date your quarter ends. Again, the calendar can be a big time saver. And when you've got all that information, go ahead and select Add. This will return you to the previous page. Next, we're going to check the settings, and this is where we're going to reset the automatic default of 2 points to match your grade values. In my example, if you remember, it's 5 points per class. You can adjust each of the other choices accordingly, and that looks pretty good. Let's select Update and save our changes. Okay, let's get back to the front page. When you want to take attendance, select the icon. Now select the correct week of the sessions you have created, and then come to the right hand and press the green button. Now with this option, you have 2 ways to view your selection of students. List is what most of us are used to seeing traditionally. The grid allows for a larger photograph, and that helps me to learn faces and identify new students. In either case, simply press the appropriate button for present, late, excused, or absence, and do save your work if you're going to be changing pages. Oh, one quick thing. Note here in the lower left corner, that is a frequency counter and not the point values that you have assigned, and that's going to change with use, so don't let that throw you off. As a parting note, it can be a great idea to have a second version of this feature and use it for student response or feedback. So come on back for our next episode, and I'll fill you in all about that. Until then, come by Library 321 if you need additional assistance, and thank you for watching.